psychologists suggest that the concept of toxic masculinity may have been created from toxic femininity point of view. But is there any truth to this claim? Let's delve deeper into the origins and implications of toxic masculinity and femininity. When we talk about toxic masculinity, we're referring to harmful behaviors and attitudes that are traditionally associated with men and boys. These behaviors can include engaging in violent and aggressive behaviors, belittling others, refusing to express emotions, and prioritizing personal success over your relationships. And what about toxic femininity? Is there such a thing? Toxic femininity is basically the same thing, but associated with women and girls. Now, these behaviors can include manipulation to control or harm others, engaging in unhealthy behaviors to control societal expectations. Physical shaming is generally done by women, and prioritizing personal appearance or possessions over personal growth.
Yeah, but do these really have to be gender specific? Because to me, it sounds a lot like mumbo jumbo. It just doesn't make sense, kind of stupid sounding to me to just say this is a masculine thing.
It's really important to note that toxic masculinity and femininity are not inherent to any gender. Individuals of any gender can exhibit these behaviors. However, we use these terms to describe harmful behaviors that are more commonly associated with specific genders. So if toxic masculinity and toxic femininity are inherent to any gender, where did these terms come from? The term toxic masculinity was first popularized in the 1980s. It was a men's movement, which aimed to redefine masculinity in a more positive way. This term was used to describe harmful behaviors and attitudes that were seen as obstacles to men's personal growth and their emotional well-being. And what about toxic femininity? Now, toxic femininity was a more recent term that has been used to describe harmful behaviors, obviously, with women. So some argue that the term was actually created in response to the popularity and the term toxic masculinity as a way to highlight harmful behaviors that are often overlooked from women.
The history of the terms is interesting, but does it actually make any difference? Does it have any real-world application?
Toxic behaviors, whether they're exhibited from men or women, can have a negative impacts on individuals and society as a whole. For example, toxic masculinity can lead to higher rates of violence and aggression, as well as reluctance to seek help for mental health and personal acceptance. But toxic femininity can lead to harmful beauty standards and expectations, as well as a lack of support for women's personal growth and development.
As far as I'm concerned, I actually have a very different belief than all of this. I believe that we need to take a reality pill and realize that we're responsible for our own actions and opinions and formed of all of this. And, it's not like any upstanding man's going to give a shit about a girl wearing makeup or not wearing makeup or wearing the same dress every day. I found that it's usually the women that care. So I don't believe that this whole toxic mentality of that for women is really a man's fault. Then with men saying things like man up or don't be a wuss, I think these are good things now. They used to not be. When I was growing up, these things were harmful and they weren't really setting a good standard. The problem is that too much slack for men. Now everybody is a wuss, and a lot of people just need a punch in the face because they're just really, really effeminate. They're just such wimps, and they're not doing any good for themselves or other men or anybody else in their life. It's just too bad that everybody's made of Play-Doh nowadays, and the real hard men who maybe went a little too hard and emotionless are really just lacking. And I really believe that this toxic masculinity is a good thing in a lot of ways, as long as it's just true masculinity.
So what can we do to combat toxic masculinity and femininity? It's important to recognize that these behaviors can be harmful, but it's more harmful to be ignorant of the idea that we can just act any way we want in society. I would suggest the solution is promoting emotional intelligence and communication skills and supporting individuals who may be struggling personally. So when we talk about turning boys into men, we do this by challenging them and pushing them. This is sometimes seen as brash from the other side or from other boys, but we push them to grow and strive for more to be better. But then on the other side, to transform a girl into a woman, you want to nurture them and give them a supporting environment where they can blossom and bloom. While the origins of the concept of toxic masculinity and femininity may be up for debate, There's no denying that some people get very offended by these behaviors. So let's strive to stop being so emotional and guided by the world around us and focus internally on the things we can control and contribute to the world around us. So if you're looking to take yourself from a man to the man, contribute to society, lead and be a stronger person in whole, click the link below, set up a free call with me, and we'll see if we're a good fit and I can take you to the next level. Until next time, cheers.